At Earth Sanctuary in the centre of Australia, the Falzons are building again. But this time it's to accommodate their expanding families.
There is a space cadet on its way, so another little adventure, and we've got to get this right.
I'm on an outback highway, crossroads on the sign say, no turning back. I'm following this track, blue skies, endless road, Outback brother coming home. Blue skies, endless road, Outback brother coming home.
While sleeping under the stars has been a beautiful experience and created a fledgling business, it's not practical for family life.
We're doing a lot of learning as we go here.
So, both Tom and Dan are working on grand designs that are more in keeping with what's down the road at Pine Gap than a conventional house.
I think the first time I saw a geodesic dome, I gravitated towards it.
The low-cost, easy-to-construct, energy-efficient homes fit well with the boys' agenda of doing right by the planet. Plus, they look pretty cool.
This is not just a moral or ethical decision. This is actually an improvement in our lifestyle.
Drawing on their father's experience, the two brothers are hoping to have their buildings ready in time for their children.
They're ultra simple, they're nearly 4 times as strong as a traditional house, very energy efficient. We realised, hey, we can actually put these together. We don't need to go to a professional builder to set these up. So everything was pointing into these little domes.
Their designs, though, are quite different, with Dan deciding to build 3 domes made out of metal that link together.
All made out of steel, which I created triangular boxes out of. There's 264 of them all up. So I had to learn how to guillotine and cut and develop those boxes because it was all handmade.
Rightio, these are the timberline ledger hangers designed for the mezzanine or the second floor.
While Tom is building one large dome that is made mainly of wood.
We decided to invest into the kit, which was a 9-metre diameter dome.
One thing in common, though, is that it'll be hard work, with the Outback throwing up some tough challenges.
There have been many times where you sort of sit down and just go, what are we doing? This is, extremely hard work. It's very challenging. We've got lots of visitors in the dome at the moment. Namely these little guys. Hello, little fella. Calm down. I'm not going to hurt you. Just giving you a little bum a rub.
Ben is taking a more simplistic approach to accommodation. To cope with the extremes, keeping fit both physically and mentally is important.
Dad and all the boys are really fit. We make sure we get out every day and we run and hit the gym, and you do that just to get the mental aspect right.
It was a real learning curve. I felt like a little spider over a nest, just running over it, doing the layers. She's about 15 centimetres thick, so we packed that with earth wool insulation, which is made out of sand. And on the outside we have e-therm and these unusual shingles, and they're from the United States, and they last. They're very, very tough and durable. Unusual here for Australia, but so far it's tested quite well. I was fortunate to have Dad when I did it, and he helped us enormously in the construction of it. And that was certainly my crash course in appreciating building a small house. This is just a tiny dwelling. You get a bit of excitement, and then you look inside and go, oh, geez, we've got to fit it out.
Constructing a building that has not one straight wall can create a lot more work, especially when there is nothing off the shelf you can buy.
Where do you put all your stuff in a dome? And it's a curved wall, so you have to rethink about your storage, your pantries, and so on.
It means every piece has to be individually crafted by hand.
Right, well, come on in. There we go. And as you can see, she opens up beautifully inside here. There's about 64 windows in this particular domeplex, and Alana and I are just working out as we're playing around with them at the moment where the best bathroom is, and central room, and obviously bedrooms as well. This has taken 12 months to get to this stage, but it feels great to be in here one way or the other.
While it's taken a bit longer than expected, it won't be long before Dan and Tom will have new places to call home and care for their families.
What we're trying to achieve here is work a little more effectively with the elements, and with these beautiful round dwellings, it seems to deal with wind load a little bit better, energy efficiency with lighting, and your thermal comfort inside, so it's all pretty good.
Let's go.
Oh, magnificent.
I've always wanted to be a paramedic, to be quite honest. You have an idea of what you think it might be. Car accidents, heart attacks, just endless carnage really, and I suppose thankfully that's not the case.
All right, love, stand there.
We've just been sent to a car accident. We were told that a lady's fallen off a scooter, motorised scooter. We turned up, she actually fell off a motorised esky.
There is no doubt that the men and women who work as paramedics in the Outback are everyday heroes. They deal with extremes: the weather, the distance, the extraordinary violence and drug abuse. But there's a lighter side too.
The young lady's had a few drinks today, and on her motorised esky, I think she'll be safe from here on in.
Everyone's got an esky,
See you later, love.
and this particular one was motorised. You could sit on it, handlebars, throttle, everything, and that was quite a sight.
Well, I am happy with that result, but it's quite silly really. I know we've all done silly things when we drink, so we can't be too critical.
No place for a motorised esky.
No place for a motorised esky, the roads, that's for sure. Not the vehicles you normally see around town, that's for sure.
First time I'd come across them, and then I went to a local establishment only a couple of days later, and there was one in the corner as a prize for competition. So I thought I had to have one, so I put in a few entries.
It's now 4 in the morning and we're off to a toothache. Save a life. People here are quite extreme, great characters, very challenging, and that's something you never quite anticipate when you come here, but it makes you a better person.
The young lady we've come to see has got her cranky pants on. She doesn't really want to speak to anyone.
Ready?
Missus, what are you doing on the road? You cannot stand in the middle of the road because it's dangerous. Does that make sense?
Outstanding.
In a town called Alice, you just never know what to expect. Could be a patient going for a midnight stroll, with their drip feed still attached. You need to keep an eye on someone who's had a couple too many and is using the wind to keep them upright.
Oh, is he going to make it home?
Or a patient's reported injury turns out to be something else.
So Bobby's dealing with our patient, but he doesn't have a sore leg. He's actually got swollen testicles, and Bobby's just dealing with that at the moment. So we'll meander our way back to Alice Springs Hospital. You always get a giggle every day, you know, in this particular job, and that keeps you going as well, you know, just the beautiful characters that you meet.
8 o'clock crew, code 3 airport, 8 o'clock crew.
There's no denying that working as an Outback paramedic offers a very wide range of experiences.
I had a call regarding a female that's on a plane from Kuala Lumpur to Melbourne, and she's had a heart attack on board. So we're out here to render some assistance. Apparently there's a doctor on board at the moment, and he's done some work up there, so we'll go up and assess the patient, take her off the plane, and we'll take her into the Alice Springs Hospital.
It's just after 6 o'clock, and this is our first job of the day. In Australia, we call that a twig.
Yeah, twig in the
Toothpick? A toothpick?
Yeah, but Thank you very much.
Just a toothpick for the young fella. No worries, mate.
No worries. The job's a bit like a B-grade movie sometimes, you know. It's not always the best, but you do see some funny moments, and it sort of keeps you going sometimes. You're never surprised what people are capable of doing. So it's it's an interesting TV show at best of times out there.
A Category 4 cyclone has smashed into North Queensland, with winds recorded at over 260 kilometres per hour. It has devastated marinas and towns across the coast. People are being warned not to venture outdoors and to stay sheltered.
At Earth Sanctuary, more and more groups are coming through. People are keen to learn about the stars and living sustainably. But when it comes to the dinner nights, there is one question asked by nearly every guest that the boys simply have no answer for.
Lots of people, every person, or every international guest says, can I have something local?
Why isn't there a local beer in Central Australia? We're supposed to be renowned for our abilities to drink, but we don't cultivate our own beer. Maybe we just don't have enough time or too busy drinking. We should make our own beer, Benny.
No, we should. I was called a Red Centre Ale.
Red Centre Ale, that's a good name.
Red Centre Ale. That's a topic for another day.
The boys have decided to do something about it.
I've had enough of this. I've got to start looking into brewing your own beer.
They've come to the local to see if the idea has merit.
We've got a question for you, mate. We're thinking about doing our own brew. Do you get asked often about local beers?
All the time. But the best I can offer is either a Queensland or Victorian. So nothing from the territory.
Would you sell it?
Yes, of course.
There you go.
Maybe one or two, yes.
So there's a market. But what should it taste like? It needs to have an Outback flavour. So Dan is visiting someone he knows can help answer the question.
Ray, good to see you.
How you going?
I'm all right. Well
nice
done.
to see you again.
Kunga's Kitchen supplies all the Indigenous ingredients for an important part of the Earth Sanctuary's evening entertainment.
Does anyone know what a damper is? Yeah. What is it? Coffee bread? Yeah, that's right. It's called a sourdough bread.
Making dampers and other bush tucker has its roots firmly in the family's history, and Joey has become the master chef of the bush oven.
In the early days, nearly all our cooking was on the fire.
It's a really beautiful way of cooking. It's hands-on, people can get involved. At the end, they create this amazing damper and they're just, the smile on their face is priceless.
How do you feel about blondes, Kim?
I've got one.
You've got a blonde? I've got a blonde.
So cooking has always been part of the activity while you're actually having fun and working at the same time, you know. Just a way of just breaking the barrier a bit over a bit of tucker. But I love cooking.
Not just for guests, but for the busy family as well.
It's been a great journey just watching him and the joy that he gets out of making it and the variations. He's an artist almost as he creates these bush oven cuisines.
But could the ingredients that go so well in bread also work for beer? Ray suggests that the bush peach or quandong might give the beer that unique flavour thereafter.
Weigh your fruit up,
Yep.
and so the same weight of your fruit,
Yep.
same weight of your sugar,
Yep.
and use a fine sugar,
Yep.
like that's not hard to dissolve.
Okay.
Yep, and just put it on the stove, cook it up, and you're going to get this beautiful, delicious red syrup.
There are a lot of quandong trees at the homestead, and they're in fruit.
Throughout the year, the boys and I, with all the little ones too, go and grab as many quandongs as we can before the birds get to them. But we'll take all these beautiful ripe ones now and we'll make a lovely syrup out of them and then we'll infuse it in the beer. So perfect timing, really.
So it's just a matter of creating the syrup and finding a brewery that can infuse it into a beer.
Oh, yummy.
Under the star-filled skies of the outback, two strange but beautiful structures have arisen from the red earth. Dan and Tom's geodesic domes are finished. After years of sleeping under the stars, this is probably the cleverest way of getting used to being under a roof again. For Dan and Alana, this is not the only big change that has happened at Earth Sanctuary recently.
Being a new mum, it's been daunting and humbling. Very exciting and everything really.
Just becoming a dad, it's just such an amazing experience.
I can see the father just coming out of him, and that's beautiful to watch. That reminds me of a lot of things when I was their age.
Built completely by the family in only a few months and for a fraction of the cost of a traditional house, these organic structures, while looking a bit like space stations, nestle very nicely into the outback landscape. But what do they like to live in?
Plenty of comments about being the next Starship Enterprise and competing with the space base here in Alice Springs, but they're great fun just to play around with. We've had an enormous amount of excitement just putting them up. They're just a beautiful lifestyle. They can sort of create their own energy, and working with them and being energy efficient is it's a nice journey in your own life, and to be able to build a dwelling which works with the planet is fantastic.
It's very calm inside the dome with the round structure, and the acoustics different, and it's really peaceful really.
I think my family's always had a passion at trying to develop something which can be easily installed by non-skilled labour, and the infrastructure has to be well suited to the environment around you. So it's just something very easy on the eye when you don't have walls around you. It's just nice to be able to think that you can create something and can put a roof over people's head for a lot less than what people are paying now for your more traditional square dwellings. So we'd like to get the price down by as much as 60–70%, hopefully, just for the actual infrastructure itself.
And so far it's been fantastic. It's proved what technically they call 10-star rating for winter, which means it doesn't require any active heating, and that's fantastic. Don't have to put a gas heater on or combustion stove or anything to heat it up, and that's been a good plus. But in 6 months' time we'll be in summer, and that'll be the real test. Sound is something that's phenomenal in a dome. When you hear someone talking downstairs, it's actually louder upstairs. So it's getting used to the acoustics. Didgeridoo sounds amazing in it. I guess when you build anything and live in it, it has a different connection, and that was something that's indeed very personal about it.
The journey has been a great one. We love it.
It's now become a wonderful example for all walks of life who come through just to see an alternative.
The domes are a great tourist attraction too.
We've spent a lot of time learning about energy, water and shelter, food, utilities and all these great areas that we need to work on in sustainable living. And this is an opportunity to put it all in one little unit and see what you can do. And it's already opened up fantastic ideas for where you could go in the future. But right now it's a great step forward, and for a lot of people aside from ourselves, it's a great working example of sustainable living in action and what you can do. So it's nice inviting people to come and look at it.
They've even prompted a visit from the Minister of the Day, who has come to see what's been achieved and how it may be a trip back to the future for the first Australians.
These guys come and talked to me a few years back about the domes, and I just thought to myself, wow, that's so much like Aboriginal communities. and how we live as a family unit. We should be having a look at building structures differently to what we do, just brick houses, square, cold in winter, hot in summer. I think, the dome villages gives us opportunities to experiment and make Alice Springs unique, and say to the outside world, come to Alice Springs, because you won't be staying at the Hilton, you'll be staying in the dome villages. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. You've got the most beautifulest place.
Beautiful. Day one.
Charlie, she's the one that we're doing it for, really.
We still had this passion about the future and about climate and talking about future generations. But it wasn't until I became a father that really galvanised that. I really thought I had passion before about it, but now it's just a dead set reality. Now it's like you don't have a choice.